Kaizen is a Japanese term that is loosely translated to continuous improvement. Blitz is a German term that means sudden effort. According to Westcott and Duffy, 2015, Masaki Imai made popular the practice of Kaizen, a strategy for making improvements in quality in all business areas. Kaizen helps organizations become highly responsive to customer demands while producing quality products and services. It does this by eliminating waste in every business area. According to Sandman, King, and Ford, 2006, typical Kaizen activities include developing solutions, implementing a plan for change, streamlining paperwork, or decreasing lead time. Kaizen Blitz is based on the principle that anything that does not add value is waste and must be eliminated. For the purpose of Kaizen, waste is any activity that uses time and capital but does not add value. Waste is hidden in all processes. Identifying and eliminating waste impacts cost and customer satisfaction. When waste is identified, it becomes clear that it adds no value to the customer and increases operating costs. Kaizen uses the team approach and is only successful when all members of an organization are involved. Lastly, Kaizen uses analytical tools and techniques to review systems in order to gather performance data. The purpose of this event is to identify waste in our current processes, identify solutions to eliminate that waste, implement solution, and then monitor how well the solution is working with follow-up activities. A Kaizen event will last 3 to 5 days and consist of training, planning, implementation, and follow-up activities after event. During the planning phase, we will analyze current performance, find root cause of waste, and develop future performance outcomes. During implementation, we will select and design a solution to eliminate waste, implement that solution, and measure the outcome. For follow-up, we will sustain the processes, have update meetings to review their impact, and determine what other areas we can improve. This training will be provided to participants in this event. The purpose of this training is familiarity with Lean. Project participants will be trained in the following: basic Lean principles, 8 types of waste, benefits of standardized work, team roles, and event methodology. Once this training is concluded, we will begin data collection. During this phase, we will determine areas of improvement. In order to do this, we will use one of the many Kaizen tools that include VSM, Lean Baseline, Pilot Project, OEE. The purpose of these techniques is to analyze our organization and determine what needs improvement. These tools will give useful data that we will need later on in the process, but most importantly, they will identify problem areas in which we can base our Kaizen event around. To make this event successful, we will identify as many problems as possible and solve them within the Kaizen Blitz timeframe. Data collection is very important to this process because it gives useful data on how these processes are being performed, the results they are currently rendering, and gets everyone on the team on the same page about the process. During this stage, we might observe the persons who are currently implementing these processes so we can observe how exactly they are being implemented, if they are being implemented correctly, and the actual equipment being used. This information is important so we can later compare it to the new performance. Once we have a baseline, we will then determine the root causes for the waste within the processes. This will include using tools and techniques such as 5 Whys, Pareto chart, cause and effect diagram, what it is not chart, affinity diagram, and identifying value adding or not adding steps. During this time, we will come together as a team and analyze the data we have collected. With this data and our observations, we will determine what the root cause of waste is. We will use the aforementioned tools to come up with a list of root causes, and as a team narrow the list down to the most likely causes. Once the root causes have been isolated, we will then need to prioritize them by solutions that can immediately be implemented to issues that need to be addressed later. Once we have gathered all data and determined the root cause, we can now develop possible solutions. It is important not to jump to the first most obvious solution. As a team, we will first brainstorm possible solution ideas. We must also develop a criteria to evaluate these solutions against. This could include using weighted or balanced scorecard technique. A feasibility and Gantt chart might also be used to determine if these solutions can be implemented within the event and which tasks can be implemented simultaneously. It is important to rank these solutions by priority, with solutions that can be immediately implemented receiving the highest priority. After we have determined the best solutions to implement within the time frame of the Kaizen event, we will immediately implement them. Making these changes immediately is crucial to the success of the Kaizen event. The more serious, the more solutions we can implement, the better. The point of this event is to identify as many problem areas and implement as many solutions as possible. This will have the greatest impact on the performance in the shortest amount of time. At this time, we will also check the results against the baseline to ensure that the changes actually positively impacted the process. After the event, we will continue to check the results against the baseline to ensure that the changes actually positively impacted the process. If not, then we will reevaluate and implement a new solution. To ensure that continuous improvement continues beyond the Kaizen event, necessary steps need to be taken, including future training for other employees, quality audits to ensure that changes are continuing to show success, identification of other areas of improvement, team meetings in order to report feedback to management, and the review of action items.